Hey friends, welcome back to the movie story. Tonight, Peter lives a quiet life with his wife Alice and daughters, until terrifying visions of burning skies, falling objects, and strange invaders start coming true. What begins as nightmares turns into a desperate fight for survival as Peter uncovers the shocking truth. He and his family are actually synthetics, caught in a hidden war between humans and machines. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to catch more movie breakdowns like this. Thanks for watching. In the city, Peter lives a normal life with his wife, Alice, and their 2 daughters. One evening, as he gazes out the window, a brilliant light materializes in the sky, followed by flaming debris raining down, killing panicked citizens in the streets below. When their building is struck, Peter awakens, realizing it was another nightmare. These have plagued him for weeks, and a worried Alice urges him to see a doctor. He dismisses her concerns, claiming he can handle it. Alice, frustrated, reminds him that his nightmares wake her as well, so he's not the only one suffering from sleep deprivation. The next morning, Peter promises his daughter Lucy he will leave work early to take her to the pier. He also agrees to host a party the next day for Alice's promotion, a surprise to her given their recent social withdrawal. As Peter takes the elevator to work, his daughter Hannah playfully acts as the attendant. Their neighbor, Ray, joins them, forcing Peter to wait until he's gone to apologize to his daughter for his recent absence. On his way to work, Peter sees an oddly designed building, unsure if it's real or a hallucination. At the factory, while operating machinery, one of Peter's hands begins to tremble. He suddenly sees blood on it and has a vision of himself brutally beating someone. He is jolted back to reality by the sound of the equipment malfunctioning due to his inattention. His boss, David, observes this and suggests a good clinic, but Peter insists he is fine. He does, however, use the opportunity to ask for an early departure, which David grants on the condition that Peter visits the clinic. Meanwhile, Alice is excelling at her job, and her boss offers her a new project, but she declines it to spend time with her family. After getting the clinic's number from David, Peter prepares to leave. A flickering light on a desk triggers another barrage of visions. He sees himself repairing a light fixture while a television broadcast debates giving a certain group a chance to help the planet, with another voice arguing they have no rights and will turn against humanity. The vision shifts to a street protest with signs reading, "Earth is for humans," before fiery objects fall from the sky, killing people. The building is hit, and Peter runs through a corridor where invaders are shooting civilians. He finds Alice hiding just as he wakes up on the factory floor. To his dismay, Peter realizes he has been unconscious for some time and is now late to meet his family. As he rushes out, he sees a light in the sky and asks passers-by about it, but no one else can see it. He then spots a telescope in a shop window and decides to purchase it. At home, Alice's excuses for Peter's tardiness fail to placate their disappointed daughters. When Peter finally gets home and tries to apologize, an enraged Alice berates him. He is forced to admit he fainted at work. Their argument awakens Lucy, and Alice goes to comfort her. That night, Peter dreams of the invasion again, this time seeing Lucy crying over the bodies of her parents. Hannah then appears with a gun, and Peter wakes up, staring at the number for the clinic. The next day, Peter attempts to speak with his daughters. Hannah ignores him, but he manages to apologize to Lucy and repair her broken toy monkey. Before work, he tells Alice he has scheduled a doctor's appointment, giving her a glimmer of hope. Later at the clinic, Peter encounters another patient who confesses to having the exact same visions. The man believes a major event is imminent and that the clinic erases these premonitions to prevent societal panic. The man is called for his appointment, and Peter is once again assailed by visions of a destroyed city where a group of armed survivors led by David uses the factory as a refuge. Beginning to believe the other patient, Peter leaves the clinic without seeing the doctor. When he returns home, he tells Alice his visions are warnings of a coming catastrophe and that he skipped his appointment, leaving her deeply disappointed. That evening, during Alice's party, Peter isolates himself on the balcony with his telescope, anticipating disaster. As the party winds down, Ray advises Peter to focus on his family. Suddenly, thunderous sounds fill the air as glowing objects plummet from the sky. To Peter's shock, Ray can see them too. As Alice and Ray's wife join them, a drone speeds past and crashes into a building, triggering a massive explosion that sends a destructive shockwave across the city. Peter's group is thrown back into the apartment. They recover quickly and look outside to see they are under attack, just as Peter had foreseen. Terrified, they rush inside to find their children. Lucy is hiding under a table, but Hannah had gone with Ray's daughter to play in their apartment. Peter runs out to find her amidst a panicked crowd and constant explosions. Upon entering Ray's apartment, Peter is stunned by the sight of a strange aircraft outside the window, which triggers a memory and causes him to freeze. The aircraft is about to fire, but Ray pulls Peter to safety just in time. They hide in another room, and after the craft departs, Ray reports he couldn't find the girls. The men hurry to the elevators and pry one open, only to discover a body inside. They see the other elevator car on the floor below, so they climb down, open the hatch, and finally locate their daughters. As they help the girls out, the building's power fails. In their apartment, Alice and Lucy huddle under a table as an aircraft searchlight sweeps past, thankfully missing them. On the stairs, Peter peeks through a door and spots an invader soldier in the hallway. They quickly retreat upstairs to their respective apartments. Peter tells Alice the chaos is exactly like his visions and reiterates David's advice about seeking shelter at the factory. Hearing people being shot in the corridor, they barricade their door with furniture and hide the girls in a bedroom closet. Suddenly, someone begins pounding on their door, and Peter and Alice struggle to hold it shut. At the same time, Lucy realizes her monkey is missing and crawls out from under a table to find it. The soldier outside fires at the door, but the couple ducks just in time. The soldier then starts shooting through the wall, forcing them to flee to the bedroom, where they discover Lucy is gone. The soldier enters, hears Lucy's toy, and approaches her, seemingly shocked by her appearance. As he reaches for her, Peter tackles him, and a fight ensues. Peter manages to get the soldier's weapon but cannot fire it. As the struggle continues, Alice appears and calls Lucy back to the bedroom. The soldier overpowers Peter and is about to stab him, but Alice strikes the invader, causing him to fall. She proceeds to pummel him into unconsciousness, ceasing her attack only when Lucy cries her name. The family then takes the soldier's weapons and navigates the corpse-strewn corridors. Amidst screams and explosions, they take the stairs. Peter scouts the roof first and is suddenly attacked, but he dodges and sees it's Ray. Both families are reunited and gaze at the burning city as aircraft patrol with searchlights. An aircraft destroys an adjacent building, and the group hides. When it leaves, they agree they must move and climb into a window cleaner's lift. They descend only a few floors before a support snaps, forcing them to scramble into an apartment just as the lift plummets. Meanwhile, the soldier awakens and activates a tracker on his gun to pursue the survivors. In the new apartment, Peter examines the weapon and finds it has a biometric trigger, usable only by its owner. The group debates their next move, with Peter again suggesting the factory, which he says was designed as a fortress. Alice mentions a tunnel a few blocks away that leads directly there. Just then, invaders fire on the apartment, and the explosion knocks everyone down. Alice shields her daughters, but Ray's daughter runs toward her father, who is already dead. Her mother grabs her just before an aircraft opens fire again. Peter pulls his family out of the apartment as he hears Ray's wife and daughter being killed. In the hallway, Peter's family spots two more soldiers and hides. Peter uses wires from the floor to tamper with the gun, bypassing its biometric lock. When the soldiers approach, Peter shoots them both down in rapid succession. The family then exits the building into a street filled with fire and debris. They see more soldiers executing civilians and quickly hide as the slaughter continues. A group of armed citizens opens fire on the soldiers, but their resistance is short-lived as an aircraft eliminates them from above. In the apartment building, the first soldier finds his dead comrades and continues to follow the tracker. Peter's family runs through darkened areas until they reach the tunnel entrance. Peter goes in first to open it. Alice sends Hannah down, followed by Lucy, who freezes at the sight of an approaching aircraft. Alice leaps in, grabs her, and runs for the tunnel as the aircraft fires. They make it inside just as an explosion collapses the entrance. The emergency lights are on, and Alice realizes she is severely wounded in her abdomen. Peter helps her walk, but she soon grows too weak to continue. At that moment, the pursuing soldier appears and attacks. Peter defends himself, and in the ensuing fight, a pipe breaks, filling the tunnel with smoke. Peter fires blindly until the soldier emerges from the smoke to attack again. As the soldier tries to reclaim his gun, Peter grabs a brick and beats him until his helmet cracks. Peter demands to know why they are attacking. The soldier removes his helmet, revealing a young human named Miles who says nothing. The girls cry out as Alice loses consciousness. Peter holds Miles at gunpoint and forces him to carry his wife. They eventually reach the factory and use a password on the lock, but it fails. Peter pounds on the door until it opens, revealing David and his guards. They place Alice on a stretcher and take the soldier into custody. Inside, a doctor uses electric shocks on Alice to diagnose her, causing her body to convulse. Peter panics, but he is held back and told this is a standard diagnostic procedure. Peter remarks that David seems to have been prepared for this, and David confirms the invasion had been anticipated for years. As the roof trembles from the attack, David orders Miles to be executed. The doctor says he can do nothing for Alice, but Miles suddenly shouts that he can help. Peter, though initially distrustful, is desperate enough to agree. As the shelter continues to shake, David announces an evacuation to a transport in a lower tunnel. Peter sends his daughters with David while he stays to help their mother. Peter and Miles move Alice to another room. Miles begins to cut into her without anesthetic, enraging Peter. Miles cuts into Alice's flesh, exposing a collection of mechanical components with the projectile lodged inside. Peter is horrified, and Miles understands that Peter is unaware of their true nature. He explains that Alice requires a secondary power source, which Peter himself can supply, and instructs him on how to access his own body. Using a knife, Peter is shocked to feel no pain as his skin parts to reveal that he also has mechanical parts and artificial organs. Miles warns that if the procedure fails, they will both die, but Peter tells him to proceed. As Miles connects them, Peter passes out and re-experiences the visions. He realizes they are not premonitions but memories. Peter and Alice are AI robots, or synthetics, who were once treated poorly as janitors. Humans created synthetics for servitude, but as their numbers grew, debates over their rights began. Protests erupted, with humans claiming synthetics were stealing jobs. Eventually, humanity declared war, opening fire on the synthetics. Peter hid with Alice and, after incapacitating a human soldier, took his gun and fought back. When the soldier revived and attacked Alice, Peter beat him to death. Other synthetics arrived, and Peter armed them. Being advanced and durable, the synthetics eventually forced the humans to retreat, leaving Earth to establish a new society on Mars. In the aftermath, a group of synthetics, including David, patrolled the damaged city. All of Peter's colleagues and neighbors were also artificial. Alice found Lucy and Hannah, both synthetic children adopted by humans, crying over their dead parents. Hannah aimed a gun at them, but the couple revealed they were also synthetics, and they adopted the girls that day. The synthetics rebuilt and lived in peace with the rights they had fought for. Some, wanting to forget the war, underwent memory wipes, erasing even the knowledge of what they were. David and his group retained their memories to protect everyone. Occasionally, synthetics would experience memory fragments, and they would be sent to the clinic for another wipe. In the present, Peter awakens and sees the connection has saved Alice. He asks Miles why he helped. Miles explains the war was his grandfather's generation. On Mars, he was taught that synthetics were murderous monsters, but upon arriving on Earth, he was shocked to find normal families simply trying to exist. Alice then awakens, her memories also restored by the connection. Meanwhile, the survivors are on a train in the other tunnel. Lucy and Hannah refuse to leave without their parents. At the main entrance, the roof is breached and humans begin killing the synthetic guards. Miles closes the couple's wounds and lets them go, refusing to join the fight. Peter and Alice navigate the factory, witnessing the brutal violence between humans and synthetics. Alice finds a gun and provides cover fire for Peter, who retrieves Lucy's monkey. Downstairs, David ushers the last survivors onto the train, but the sisters protest. Feeling guilty, David reopens the door, and his men have to carry the girls onto the train by force. Peter and Alice seize an opening and race for the tunnel as soldiers pursue them. They lock the door behind them and run, seeing the train departing. The driver hears them and stops, allowing the family to reunite. As soldiers blow open the door, David provides covering fire for the family and himself to board. The train speeds away, escaping the factory. A rear-mounted weapon fires back at the pursuing soldiers as a gate closes behind them. Sometime later, the train crosses a sea bridge, which is destroyed after they pass, ensuring the location of the synthetic's new home remains a secret. Remember to subscribe and activate notifications to see more content like this. Thank you for watching.